What's going on, ladies and gents? This is John and Mitch with CGCB. Our topic for today is introductions. So I'm going to hand this off to Mitch and let him give a somewhat proper introduction. So hit us with it, bud.
All right. Well, as I said, I'm Mitch. Um, I've got a fuck. I went blank.
Oh, good, man. First one. We good.
Yeah. Um.
Well, I'll ask you a question. Where are you from?
Well, kind of bounced around, military family, but anyways, straight out of high school, went and worked for. Well, I'm not going to say the name, but a fairly big and reputable manufacturer of AR-15s.
Touche.
There for a couple of years. Left there, kind of bounced around a little bit, then worked for another one down in Florida. Spent a couple of years out of that one. Came back, started my own business. Then now I'm just a mechanic working on forklifts. So, but we got stuff in the works. We're gonna be making our own stuff at some point.
Yep.
But as far as how I relate to the podcast, I'm not much of a car guy. I'm more of I like two wheels, motorcycles. That's where my interest is. I've got a couple bikes. Most recent ones was I had a first gen CBR 600 RR, and I've currently got a 2017 R3 that's being worked on. And then guns, I already kind of explained. I've been into it in the manufacturing side for a little while. I used to compete, trying to get back into it. I hadn't quite gotten there yet. Just finished getting the rifle built, but with the ammo famine going on, it's kind of hard to get into that. Then, let's see, smoke a lot of cigars. Started when I was just turned 18. Just decided, I want to try a cigar one day. Went tried one. Lately, I've been smoking a lot of the Perdomo 20th year Maduros and the Cohiba Blues. I'm really starting to like them. But other than that, whenever I can, I'll get my hand on like a Chapman Banker, or another one I like is the I like some of the Alec Bradleys. Those are pretty good. And then for booze, I'm a big Scotch drinker. Like that's just about all I drink is Scotch. And lately, I've been drinking. I've been going back and forth between a Glenfiddich 12 and a Glenlivet 12 year. Both those are really good. I'm starting to like the Glenlivet a little more. Never been much of a bourbon guy. A little too much on the sweet side for me. I don't drink Fireball. I'll go ahead and tell you that. Not cinnamon shit. And just go. And then yeah, that's about it.
All right.
What do you?
Well, I was born in Valdosta, Georgia, but I grew up here in Effingham County, Georgia. I currently reside in Bryan County, Georgia. I own a business called Lasker Precision. I'm a Federal Farms manufacturer and SOT holder. So me and my buddy here working on some stuff. Got some stuff on the pipeline, ready to come. Work on forklifts as well with Mitchell. Got a brief stint in the military. Got out in the military, bounced around a few different jobs, worked for the firearms industry for a little while with one of the same manufacturers Mitchell worked with. We both worked there for a little while, and we both parted ways. As for cars, I bounced around a bit. Started off mini truck guy. Love mini trucks. I have
But
one.
you were in that for a while.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was in that mini truck for 2-3 years before it got totaled. I got rear-ended in front of the entire high school,
Mm-hmm.
which was embarrassing. Which was even more embarrassing is when I got the insurance check. I bought a Honda Civic, and
Oh,
that
God, I
blew up.
remember that thing.
That
Ugh.
that car blew up a month later. I only owned that car for a month, like driving, and then I drove around a '95 Buick Century after that. Um, as much as I want to talk shit about the Buick Century, that car, perfect. If you can find one low miles, buy it. I guarantee it. They're only like $1,000. But let me tell you, one of the smoothest rides you will ever have in a front wheel drive '90s car. And then after the Buick, um, what did I have after the Buick? I think I fixed the Honda. It ran for like an hour and blew up completely. Um, I joined the army, and then I really wanted to FRS like super bad. That was about the same time they came out, the same year, and got out, and then got hooked on Subarus for whatever reason. Salesman talked me into buying a WRX as a 2011. Fell in love with the car. Drove
You
it
were
out.
obsessed with that thing.
Just completely obsessed with that car. It was irrational. But I drove that through my entire Army career. Got out, sold the car because I didn't have a job when I got the Army for a while. So bought an old Subaru, an old Impreza first gen. Did the typical uh, racer boy style and put the Impreza Outback hood scoop hood on it and completely mismatched bumpers and whatnot just to make it match and make it look like a 22B, which it was not because it was a four-door. And one day I finally got me a decent job, sold it, bought another 2011 WRX, which was the bane of my fucking existence. I went through 5 clutch master cylinders with that car. I killed the gearbox in it playing in the snow, which we never get here in Georgia or on this part of Georgia. Um, what else did I kill in that car? Uh, the windows stopped rolling down. The uh, the fuel pump died. Changed the fuel pump. The O-ring on the wiring harness went bad. Shorted out the pump controller, which in turn shorted the ECU. So when I went to replace the ECU along with all the other things, well, you can't just replace the ECU like most cars. You had to have an ECU with the VIN number burned into it. So that was a whole process. Finally sold that car on the day my son was born. Actually, I sealed the deal. Then the guy finally bought it like a month or two, came and got it a month or two later. But after that, I bounced around, bought now. Into BMWs. I've always liked BMW since I was a kid. My mom had one when I was in the Army, fell in love with it, and I bought the same generation and model my mom had, the same color too. But mine has the Dynon tuning pack on it, a stage 1 Dynon. It's a 2010 335 E90, so that's the 4-door. Love that car to death. About a month after owning it, the water pump went out. So yeah, while my wife was driving it to work, which was awesome, because that phone call was great. So we fixed that, and other than that, that car has been solid. Still really into BMWs. I have a '94 pickup. Like I said, I'm still into mini trucks. Matter of fact, I got new body panels coming for that. I haven't told you yet, Mitch, but new front clip coming.
I was wondering if you're just going to do anything with that damn truck.
Yep, new front clip on its way. Primer black. It's going to stay primer black until I fix the rest. Yep.
All right. Shit.
Yep. So that's for cars. Guns. Like Mitch, worked in the industry. I'm in the industry currently. I own a firearms business. I'm a dealer for those guys. Um, Cigars. I right now am really into Gurkhas. Anything Gurkha, I'm down with. My favorite so far though has been a Trinidad. It was the Trinidad, the one for government officials. I forgot the name for it, but that so far has been my favorite. As for booze, right now it's Woodford Reserve and this really awesome bullet glass that my wife bought me for Christmas one year. That is a really good whiskey glass. But other than that, you got any topics for us today, Mitch?
Well, we could talk about why we can't shoot nothing no more.
Let me lean forward, Dan.
Why in the
Aliens.
world? No, it ain't aliens. I ain't got my hair all messed up due to the aliens thing. But no, I mean it just felt like the UFO just come down, went to all the gun stores, like, oop, that's ours, and bye. There ain't nothing. Well, hold on. Let me preface this. Any common calibers, no 308, no 5.56, no 9. There's barely any 45. And there's people having to put the glove on and go out there and just go, ugh, as they pick up a box of 40 for that one 40 they keep in the glove box.
Ew.
But, yeah, like there's only one gunshot around here. It's got any 5.56. And even then, it's like here and there.
Damn, he does.
Yeah, he got it. I mean, the price just went up. It used to be like $26, $27 for a bag of 50. It's Lake City 5.56 M193. And now I went in there yesterday, or not yesterday, last week. Excuse me. And he had it for $33 a bag. Yeah, it's going up. And then, like, for me, I shoot. Now, I used to have I had a nice BCM Noveski hybrid carbine, 16-inch gun, fixed front sight base, 9-inch KMR key mod rail. Had a VTAC sling on it and a Vortex UH1 Gen 1.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, still got the sight, but I did trade the rifle. I got a Century C93, which is a HK93 clone. There's fun things to come with that one, but we just ain't got there yet.
Yep.
So I originally had all the 55 grain stuff for that gun, but now that I finished my practical precision AR, which one of these days we'll get into it. I'll bring it on the podcast, but we ain't there yet. That thing is meant to shoot nothing but 77 grain OTM rounds. And what I found works the best with it is the IMI Razor Core. And that shit will put 10 rounds in a half inch at 100 yards consistently. So I looked out one day, I was Googling around. I found me some, bought 2 boxes, and they wouldn't let me order no more, and they were out after that. In fact, Midway had some Black Hills 77 grain, not the Mark 262, but just the regular 77 grain. And they sold out of everything they got in 9 minutes.
Oh shit.
So if you're gonna get it, if you find it, buy as much as you can, because until things start slowing down, which in the current climate, without getting into it, it's looking like it may not for a little while. And if we go back and look at last time something like this happened back during, I believe the last big one was, I want to say 2013 with the Sandy Hook shooting.
Yes.
And it took the entire industry about 2.5 years to catch up. And I'm afraid it's looking like we're in that kind of thing. The difference here is In most jurisdictions, like even here, guns are still pretty easy to come by. It's the ammo that you can't get. Because like
Yeah.
the store down here, they got several ARs for sale. They have several AKs. They can. The only thing they're having a problem keeping in right now are duty pistols. So like your Glock
Hmm.
17s and 19s, your 1911s. Luckily, he's a SIG Gold. Those.
$600. Come and get it.
But luckily, he's a SIG Elite dealer, so he gets all the goodies. Like he's got a P210 match up there for sale right now, and I just trying not to go up there and get it.
Yeah, I'm currently in works with SIG right now, trying to get on that. So stand by.
Yeah, no, we gotta get that cross first.
Yes, still waiting on that. Really looking forward to the cross. Looks like it's got some great potential. Even though I'm not exactly a huge long range guy, that rifle is definitely the in between we needed between our competition shooters and our hunters. My family, they hunt a lot every day of hunting season. They're out there hunting, and I showed them this rifle, and they were ecstatic. They were like, "When can I order one? I will order it the second I can." And we're still waiting, even though we got the email. I think it was a month ago saying they were shipping. I feel like distributors are trying to work out the kinks still. They're still on that wave of the whole COVID buy. I know they're finally coming back around to picking up with shipping, but right now, I think they're trying to hold on to them because I know this is going to crash everybody's system as soon as they post them, because that's how Aero Precision is. As soon as they launch anything, the day they launch it, website gets destroyed, everything sells out immediately, and they get a bunch of bad reviews because their salesman can't answer phones fast enough. I even got an email about that, basically saying, "Hey, our salesmen are doing the best they can," and I completely agree with them. I have messages all day long. Do you have this in stock? Can you get it in stock? And like you said with the firearms are getting to a point now where I can kind of get them, but they have elevated in price because of
Mm-hmm.
demand.
Well, at least it ain't as bad as Sandy Hook, where a fucking Bushmaster was going for like $3,200
Uh,
in Rising.
oh, I know, dude. And that was back when, what was it? PSA wasn't as good as they are now.
They're
And
still kind of.
I mean,
I we need to put together something and run a PSA versus like an actual duty grade rifle.
yeah.
See which one fails first. Like get a now we could just go Gucci and get a fucking Knights or a Noveski.
I thought about that. I thought, you know,
Really, all we need to do actually just get the upper, because the
I
upper,
mean,
that's where all the stuff's gonna be down. I mean, I know, yeah, and I got my Yeet Cannon one too, but the actual big difference for the Knights lowers versus the others is the Knights are all ambidextrous, like ambi bolt release, ambi mag catch.
okay, is that proprietary or is it um,
I
something?
believe I believe theirs is proprietary. Their
Okay,
parts are at least, and they're lower design.
okay, kind of
Um,
like the DD5, the AMB everything on is proprietary to their lower.
kind of, yeah. Um, but their 15 and their 25 lowers are like that, and they work really really well. Like it's laid out very nicely. All the parts work very well. I mean, it's worth the price if you need an ambi gun, and it's going to be um, something that you are actually carrying for a duty rifle, which is why they're like, up north of $2,000.
Yeah, because I mean, at that point, I mean, you're buying it because that's your duty rifle that's protecting yourself and others. So you could definitely justify spending that kind of coin on a higher
Yeah,
end rifle. But if it's something that you just throw in your closet or throw in your safe, and you shoot it every other weekend or something like that, I mean, you can get away with that. I mean, if you're that kind of guy, but then you got your gear snobs.
Yeah.
Guys are like, yeah, I didn't want to say it, but you're welcome. That are like, oh no, you're good, no, whatever, yeah, okay, I got my nights. And I've shot good groups with a PSA, and I've shot good groups with a DD and whatever else, but
I'll tell you though, hardly any rifle shoot mechanically as good as a Knights from the factory, because they would actually put them in ransom rests and accuracy testing before they went out. And all of their rifles would average between a quarter minute 10-shot group at 100 yards and a half minute at 100 yards with factory ammo.
Speaking of accurate rifles, did you see DD release their
Their Delta 5.
Their Delta
specialty.
5 Pro?
Yep.
Okay.
It just looks like a modified MDT chassis. And they dropped it in there. Yeah.
Yeah. And their whole new barrel profile along with it, and they're guaranteeing 0.5 MOA out the box.
I mean,
I've got sources inside, and it's not promising there, bud.
Well, they might be hammering them barrels out instead of cutting them. I mean, they're probably trying to make a match rifle with a hammer forged barrel, like they've been trying to do since Marty's got that forge.
Yep.
So
if you had the choice, Kralls, Delta 5. Since both technically aren't really out yet.
Depending on the use, I could go for either. So, like, if I'm
Kralls either way, I don't give a fuck.
Well, let me explain. So the Cross is going to be a light rifle.
Yes.
It's going to be short, folding stock. That's going to be nifty carrying around, hunting with, not like fucking still hunting like we do here in Georgia, but I'm talking about like out west somewhere, you're going on a hunting trip, you're going to be rucking it for a while. That's going to give me a cold bore accuracy I need. It's got a light barrel profile. It's going to be a really, really light rifle.
Well, one of the options comes with an 18-inch barrel.
Yeah, but they're 16 to 18-inch barrels, if
I
remember correctly.
The 6.5 is the only one that comes with an 18. Or the optional 18. Sorry.
Okay. But the Delta 5, on the other hand, it's got a 24-inch barrel.
Really? I thought it was a 20 for some reason.
The standard for bolt, I think it might be a little short. I think it might be a 20, but the standard for bolt guns is 24. You got it in an MDT chassis, and which, modified or not, MDTs are great chassis.
Well, they say that's their chassis. They made that chassis.
They may make it, but it's a slight modification off an MDT.
Yeah. With
the Daniel Defense grip on it. But because naturally that rifle's going to weigh probably, that thing with an optic and bipod's probably going to come in at around, I want to say about 14 or 15 pounds. It's going to be heavy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm guessing, but unless we get one that actually weigh, I don't know. But that would be a good match rifle because you got the heavier barrel, you're going to be shooting longer strings, so you got to have the barrel hold the accuracy when it's heated up, and then you want it to sit and ride in like a game changer or something like that to take all your shakeout when you're shooting. Because the last thing you want is a light gun that every little move you make is moving the gun. You want a nice heavy one to sit in a bag. That way it's not moving when you pull the shot, so you don't send it somewhere you're not supposed to or not wanting to. Yeah. So yeah, it's situational, but I could go with either one. Now, if I were going for a precision bolt gun for factory options and the money I'd probably have into that Delta 5, I'd probably get like Bergara or something, and then just use the stock it comes in, throw an optic on it. Then
hell yeah,
it would compete.
that Bagara, I think that's the B14
Hmm.
HMR, I think,
Hmm.
one of the chassis gun, dude,
Yeah.
phenomenal gun. Um,
Oh, I know. There
I've
was a dude
heard,
out at the Carolina range. I went up there a couple weeks ago, and he was out there. He had a Vortex Viper PST Gen 1 on it, or no, I'm sorry, a Gen 2, and he had the benchmarks or not benchmark bench rest target set up. So you know how he had the bullseye and the little box above it,
yeah,
and he was just load testing a couple of them, and all of them were just sitting there like right in that little like
mhm.
1 inch box. Like, or I don't even think it's a 1 inch box. I think it's a half-inch box. They're all nice, neatly tucked in there. From a factory rifle, like that is great accuracy.
Mhm. Now let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk
Okay.
about some cars. So I know you're not a huge car guy, but you know a bit.
I know a
Um,
little bit.
so the Polestar 1,
I have no idea what the fuck that is.
you don't know what a Polestar 1 is. Okay, well, let's see if I can maybe try to do a screen share real quick of the Polestar 1. This will be kind of shaky. This is the first time we've done this. So let's see, screen share. Here we go. That there, sir, is
Okay.
the Polestar 1. This is not a Volvo. This is a Polestar.
Okay.
Okay.
I actually, for whatever reason, was thinking like Lincoln's trying to go for a fancy new car. But
Okay.
okay.
So
Okay.
let's
Talk to me about it. Talk to me about it.
okay. So let's go through the specs here. All
Yeah.
right. This is a very little look at the rear. That is a beautiful car.
Is this okay? No, it's not an EV.
It is. It's a hybrid.
Okay. Well, I knew it wasn't going to be like a full electric because I saw the exhaust on the back.
Yes. So let me try to find some actual. Okay. There's some information. There's the Polestar 1,
Okay.
619,
Okay.
737. Okay.
Okay. I can fuck with it.
Guess the size of the engine.
Probably something super small, like a 1.7 or 1.5, or maybe in the 2 liter range.
Oh, dude, that interior.
Okay.
But yes,
Kind
um,
of looks like a more expensive version of the old lady's Kia Optima. Yeah. See, that's what I was
yep,
thinking about 2 liter range,
yes, it is,
supercharged and
and turbo.
turbocharged.
Yep, so
Okay.
it's double, and it uses the uh, as if I remember watching the video correctly, it's front wheel drive mostly
Hmm.
with the gasoline engine, and the electric engines are on the rear, but it also can send power to the front as well, and it
Hmm.
can run as all-wheel drive. Now, when I watched the interview with Matt Farah drive this car, it was super quiet. And this thing is just super luxurious. Here's the Polestar 2. Um,
Is he still doing the smoking tire?
yes, he
I
is.
thought he shut that down.
No, shout out to the Smoking Tire. Great podcast. He's still doing it.
Yeah. No, I really enjoy that.
It is a full carbon fiber body.
Hmm.
Uh, I believe it's got the complete glass top.
Oh, when like on the that's gonna show my taste in cars, but like on the F type where they got the panoramic glass ceiling.
Yes, yes. Um, about roughly like that. And then there was another I wanted to pull up. Sorry.
I'll
Have you
say it sounds
heard?
German.
Have you heard of these guys? So
Um, the
gun
only the
lovers.
only Porsche um, or the only two that I'm familiar with that work off of Porsches are Alpine and Singer.
Okay, so these numbers that are on the screen right here
Mhm.
are not that impressive. Okay, let's just go ahead and get that out there. This
But we
not
already know Porsches are pretty light because there was this what a flat six in this one.
yes, this is a air cooled, naturally aspirated flat six.
Okay.
So being
Okay.
that it's the air cooled flat six, they have to put a ton of time and effort into getting this engine tuned to where it'll
Hmm.
withhold that. But dude, 2,600 pounds with a real wheel
That's a
drive
light
car,
car.
dude, this car will fly. And not only that, if you look at the body panels on this thing,
It's all carbon.
carbon, no, look at the fibers between two different panels. They're fucking aligned. They went through the effort to align every panel to where
Jesus
they meet.
Christ. No wonder it's fucking 600 grand.
Exactly. Dude, these cars are absolutely insane. Like I listened to an interview with the owner of Gunther Works, and he said out of this entire car, this specific one right here on the website, the hardest thing on the car in production, taillights.
Yeah.
He said the taillights were the hardest thing to produce because he the way that he could have bought a stamp or a press to produce these produce the moldings.
Hmm.
He said that the mold would cost like $700,000.
I mean, that sounds about right for injection molding because that shit is really, really expensive.
So
Uh,
he's taking plastic and CNCing it to make those instead. He takes a block of plastic, CNCs it with a 40% scrap rate, might I add.
ugh.
Yes.
Oh, that hurts.
Yes, my
That
man
hurts.
is sucking down money on these fucking taillights,
Like,
dude.
like I heard when one of the companies I worked for, and I'm not gonna name names, um, had north of a 15% scrap rate.
Ooh, big oof.
Well, no, like like that rail I got on my that that rail I got on my um, mattress gun.
Mm-hmm.
That one was one of them that would fall into that. I don't know if you knew that or not.
All
It is the
right.
only factory blem rail ever released. It was only released internally,
Really?
as far as I know, at least.
All right. Well, I brought up some car stuff. You got any bike or car stuff you'd like to bring up?
Well, not particularly. I've been a little out of the loop in the bike world.
Well, in that case, what's your thoughts on the H2?
Uh, I think it's a toy for the rich and famous mainly.
Kind
You
of
can't
got
race it
that.
or nothing.
I
I
kind
mean,
of
unless
got that feel from that car.
there's a guy out here on tap who's got one.
Really?
He won't go over the speed limit with it.
I mean, I'd be scared too, but that's just me.
One of my buddies stopped him and asked him about it one day. And he said he bought it just as kind of like a status symbol
Mm.
than anything. And I'm just like, that's a waste of a bike. I mean, you're gonna go out and spend how much I'm thinking? I can't remember. I think they're like almost 40 grand.
Yeah.
That is expensive, and you're gonna just cruise around down the main strip on Tabby and then just park it at your house. Like that's a waste of a perfectly good fast bike.
Typical
But
Tybee.
the other part of that is you can take it to the track, yeah, and you'll show everybody up if you know how to ride it. But you'll never see him race anything because it's one of those things where Kawasaki, being Kawasaki, decided we want to make a novel fast bike, and they did. And nobody else has built a supercharged production bike quite like that and put the time and effort into doing it. Now, I don't think they'll ever get imported, at least not for the next 20 years. But I'd like to be able to get my hands on a Norton V4RR. Like as soon as those things were announced, I fell in love with it. It is a beautiful bike. But there's also $40,000 brand new.
Question. So I know in the car world, if you want to import a vehicle that's not a U.S. that doesn't have a U.S. spec, you got to wait 20 to 25 years, depending on vehicle, unless there's a show or display clause. But mostly, you got to wait 25 fucking years to bring this car here. Now, does that apply for motorcycles as well?
I'm not entirely sure. I want to say it probably falls into the same category. But I don't know because like Norton still imports and sells bikes in the U.S. Like they still do Commandos, and they've got a couple other models that they do. But I don't believe they've imported a V4. I think those are England only bikes. It was a limited run. I think they only did like 600 of them. And it was mainly to get Norton back at the Isle of Man, which they did. And I forget who they had to ride. No, they had John McGinnis riding on one of the bikes. I can't remember who was riding on the other. I want to say Guy Martin, but I don't think that's right because I know they were on the team for a little while, but I think that was the Honda team. I don't think that was Norton, unless I've been out of it for a little while. I can't. It's hard to keep up because they always change, and then people are retiring, which I think McGinnis is getting close to retiring if he hadn't already, because he's been doing it for like the last 25 years and took his fair share of spills. And,
yeah.
So, but yeah.
Good stuff. All right. So your R3, how's that going?
Well, it needs to be moved first. That was the first bike I bought because I wanted something to kind of learn on, and I'm kind of like with my guns. I like smallest thing I could reasonably take. Like when I hunt, I usually hunt with like a 6mm. Yeah. I got a 6mm Remington that I hunt with, and so I use that same kind of philosophy with bikes because it doesn't matter how big the bike is if you can't ride it. True. So I bought that. I had it for a while, and then someone backed into it, and the little bracket that holds the dash bent, and I immediately went out and bought my Honda, which I just sold this year. And I had that, but I'm getting ready to get it moved to the house, and then I'm gonna get that back on the road. I'm gonna do new tires, new chain, new sprockets. Whole front end's got to be replaced. Not like I ain't got to do a triple tree and front wheel and all that good stuff. I just got to do the light mounts, and the dash is fine, but mainly just the headlight housing and all that. Damn. Excuse me. So I'm gonna do that. Probably put new fairings on it. And I'm still debating whether I want to just turn it into a track only bike and take out the Roebling when they have track days. Because that's a fun little bike. That'd be great to take for tracks. Because
dude, yeah, you can throw that little thing around and just give it hell and not be like scaring the shit out of yourself. Yeah, because I mean, what is it, a 300cc bike?
Yeah, it's a 300. It's 300 series. It's like, I think technically it's like 320 something. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, that thing, like, I mean, it'll still break 100 mile an hour with me on it. But I mean, it takes a little bit to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. Give it the beans.
like I'll be tucked down behind it as tight as I can, going downhill with the tailwind. I think the fastest I've ever been on it was 104. Fastest I've been, but that was like completely stock, no exhaust system, no tuning, nothing. So, which that's another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put I think I'm gonna put a Yoshimura. I think it's the R77 full system on it, and send it off to have the ECU flash tune.
Sweet.
Because I looked at getting it into amateur racing, and for them, you on that class of bike, you can't use, at least for the I forget what rate or that's what I'm looking for. What series it is, but they race all over Florida and like have a couple tracks in Georgia they go to. But with that class of bike, you can't use or you can't have like a Power Commander or a Bazaz or anything like that. One of the aftermarket piggyback tuners, or ECUs. So you have to use original ECM, and you can use a full system. But that's it. So yes, that's what I'm looking at going with it right now. But I'm probably going to just put it back on the road for the time being.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, like I said, mini trucks is in the works. I got it. I started it last weekend. It hasn't ran in months. Battery in it is super dead. I need a new battery. It is running. Drove it around the field and whatnot, and it drove pretty good. Took the baby in his first ride in it. That was hit me in the fields because I remember being a kid riding in the same truck. But yeah, Dad is definitely wanting me to get going on this project, so he's motivated me to get started. So parts are on the way. Doing both front fenders, getting a hood. Also trying to get bumper, light bezels, grill. Just do the entire front end aesthetically.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I will probably work my way and try to find a set of doors, which will be next to impossible. But if I find a set, I'm going to buy them immediately because the doors that I have are shot.
Here's an idea.
Yeah.
Put them Jeep cages for the doors. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. See,
do that.
if this was a 4x4, and like
That's right. It's
everybody in
only
their,
two-wheel drive.
yeah, everybody and their mama that has a Toyota truck does that, or they'll just cut the windows off and then just use the door portion. But yeah, this is a mini truck, dude. This is gonna stay on the street. It's gonna get lowered, of course. I can't
You ain't even
drive,
gonna be able to get that out your driveway.
dude. Have you seen my E90? My E90
I mean,
has
yeah.
the dyno lowering along with the tuning and whatnot. And bro, I think the lowering in the front was like 1.7 inches and in the rear is 1.3. So it has a slight rake. Not a huge fan of it. I want to even it out. I want to get some coilovers for it. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to replace the shocks on it for now. Replace it with some Bilsteins in the front and rear because Germany. And because right now I think one of my front shocks is kind of giving out because anytime, dude, I hit a bump or I'm trying to go on a driveway or something, the shock is bottoming out and the wheel's rubbing the wheel well, and that's not a good look when you're driving a somewhat nice car. So, and
Because you're in the driver's seat, is it?
No, it's mostly when I have passengers. Actually, is what it is.
Oh, okay.
Like even with my brother-in-law Kevin, he weighs next to nothing, and he was sitting in the driver's or passenger seat, and we hit like a rock in the fucking dirt road, and it bottomed out. So I was like, yeah, this is the sign that this needs to get replaced. So got that in the works. I really like to go stage 2, even though I think the whole stage system is garbage. But basically that, so downpipes, intercooler, piping, inlets. I already have a full exhaust other than the downpipes, and I have the Dynon carbon box intake with the dual cones in it. So I don't have to do much there. It's really just the rest bolt-ons, and then everybody and their mama says I can get 500 to the wheel, but this car has 105,000 miles on it, so we'll see. I'll probably throw some E85 in it and get it E85 tuned. But I mean, other than that, this is my daily. I don't want to go crazy with it, because I don't want to be driving my crazy modded out car and it break down trying to take my kid to daycare or something, because that would be a shame. Because I know my
Get them there fast though.
Yeah, I mean, I get them there really fucking fast, a lot faster than the fucking Subaru.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to do some work to the BMW, but I think it's just gonna probably stay, maintenance only, and just upkeep. Got a few cosmetic things I need to fix because I bought it with a dented bumper and like a scratch here and there. But other than that, it's a pretty straight car. I mean, it's 10 years old, so I can't complain. It's held its own.
But nothing wrong with that.
No, we've covered cars pretty good, I would say. So how about some cigars? Is there anything you've been looking forward to cigar-wise lately? Or just actually smoking one?
No, like keeping my humidor filled. Like I had 3 this past weekend. So I had one Saturday before I went over to Bill's party, and then I had one there. Then I also had one of those this I think they're special reserves or whatever that he gets from New Orleans. But I would like to actually keep cigars in my humidor because I smoke them as fast as I put them in there. That's the problem. Because I get in there, like, oh, cigar.
Yeah, I used to be the same way, but now I got maybe 1 or 2 I think left in my humidor. I have a big bag of tobacco with my corncob tobacco pipe. That was my dad's that he gave to me, and yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the tobacco he gave me. I would like to get a little something different. I can't explain the taste. It's rough. I don't know much more else I can say. I feel like it might have got dried out at one point.
That might be it.
Yeah.
Have you been having it sit in the humidor? Or?
Yeah, like when he gave it to me, it was in a Ziploc bag, and I don't know how long it had been in said Ziploc bag. So I immediately put it in my humidor and left it cracked open a little bit, try to get it, freshened up some, and then, did a bowl of it, and I guess that's the term, was a bowl, questionable past, but yeah, I smoked some. It was, like I said, it was a bit rough, and I've smoked all kinds of cigars, but this specific tobacco was a bit rough. But I really want to get me another Trinidad. I got a homeboy that's got the plug on those.
Talking about Robbie.
Yeah, try not to name drop too much, but yeah, I'm gonna try to hit up my boy, try to get another Trinidad if he can get some more. Because I know last time he got those were a little hard for him to get. So if he can hook me up with the same, I'll do the same. And shout out to my boy Robbie for hitting me with the tobacco. If you're not a sweet cigar guy, don't smoke a tobacco. I know you're not a sweet guy, but I like sweet cigars. Not often. Just it's one of those every now and then kind of deals. Or if you're smoking the little cigarillos, those would be kind of good if you smoke those often. But if you're smoking a big cigar, that's something that you would kind of reserve every other cigar, because if not, you'll get kind of spoiled to the sweetness. And then whenever you go to have a nice, bold, full cigar, it'll kind of ruin you a little bit. So I've had to climb my way back to decent cigars that are not sweet and childish, basically.
I can't stand them. They like you take a puff of them and then it's like you can just like feel the sugar on your lips and it's just like
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah.
No, I can't do it. I gotta have like my brother. He smokes Javas and they're like Java infused or whatever. And, oh, those things are awful. Like I gotta do like straight tobacco. Anything like now if you get something that's like barrel aged or not like barrel aged, that's fucking scotch. That's not what I'm talking about. but like if it's been like
It's been aged, basically.
aged
Yeah.
in something like that because there's a couple I can't remember how they do it, but I know it's like I guess they keep like open bourbon or something casks, and they're empty, but they've been used.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know this, but you can, according to bourbon law, you can only use a fire age cask once, and you have to dispose of it.
Yes.
So I believe the way they do it is they'll take the ones that have been used, leave them open in there while the tobacco is aging, and those I can do. But like most of the time, it's just gotta be like straight tobacco, no added flavor, nothing. That's how I prefer them. But yeah, no, I usually stick between a couple brands. I've never had real good luck with Olivas. I've had a couple of good Gurkhas. Um, haven't quite found a Rocky Patel that I like.
Ooh, Rocky Patels. I like this.
One I've been seeing crop come up a lot recently that I haven't tried yet, and the local place that's got a humidor, they keep a couple boxes of these are diesels of various kinds.
Diesels.
Yeah, they're like jet black.
Mm.
So I'm probably gonna end up picking me up one and trying it.
I had the other day I was talking about cigars and I had a guy say well I really like Black and Milds. I really love the champagne Black and Milds. So like, I mean, if Black and Milds is your thing, that's your thing, bro. That's your thing, okay? And I'm gonna go out here and full disclosure, I smoke Black and Milds. but you know, I'm not gonna be a cigar snob. I try everything I like. I want to try everything. So I tried some. Actually, I've tried every Black and Mild. My favorite is the wood tip regular Black and Mild. Those are something I would smoke if I was smoking like a cigarette. Like I'm working on something. Now I will have a Black and Mild. I do every now and then for work. I'll get one or two and I'll just puff on it while I'm working on something. But if I want to enjoy something, that is not the one that I'm going to be enjoying. It would be, you know, a Trinidad, a Gurkha. I might try one of the diesels. Sounds kind of good, actually. But yeah, I didn't want to trash homeboy for saying his favorite was B&M.
Yeah, no, someone told me that one time. I just kind of looked at him like, what?
Yeah, and then I had I have a couple of friends that this place I work at. They quite surprised to see me smoking a Black and Mild. They're like, I didn't expect you to smoke a Black and Mild. We won't go into that topic.
Yeah.
But yep, Black and Milds aren't too bad. You know, if you want a cheap, quick cigar, it's not really a cigar.
No, I can't bring myself to do it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're used to quality cigars, you'd be taking a big step back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not exactly worth it. Granted, as a teenager, I did smoke these Black and Milds, thinking I was cool because I was a teenager. It was the cool thing to do at the time. and that's where I basically started with them. But my actual first cigar I've ever had was a Macanudo Portofino, and I
Yep.
had one from my dad, and he let me take a puff when I was 17 when I joined the Army. When I swore in, when I come back home, I went to visit my dad because he lives out of town. Went and stayed with him a weekend, told him to join the Army, and he was like, "Well, you're old enough to join the Army and fight for your country. You can have a puff of my cigar." So I tried that, and that was it. Had that and a Budweiser.
Yeah. No, my first was the Romeo and Julieta.
You were on those for a while.
I was like my first foray into it, and I was like, well, these are all right. Let me. Then after a while, I went down to that place on River Street when I found out Buddy's aunt owned the place. And
Give them a shout out real quick because they deserve it.
Oh yeah, Exotic Cigars out on Tybee. They take care of you in there.
Oh yeah.
I ain't been down there in a minute. I feel kind of bad. I need to go see them.
But, yeah, we've been slacking.
Yeah, but no, like I started branching out. I started trying new things, and that's where I started getting my taste. And I tried that Perdomo. And that matter of fact, they were actually having an event, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he was the area sales rep for Perdomo who was there. And apparently Nick Perdomo was supposed to be there, but something happened. He didn't make it. I don't know if that's a story they tell everybody, but
probably. Yeah, probably the spiel.
Anyways, it was when the 20th anniversary was like the new kid on the block, and they had the champagnes, they had the sun growns, they had the Maduros. I tried the champagne, the sun grown, wasn't real big fans of them. The Maduro was where it was for me. And that's just what I stick to. Like if I need something or if I'm going somewhere and I don't know what they got that, I'm good to go, which most everybody everywhere carries that. That's a very highly rated cigar. But now whenever we got to go down to Florida for training, that cigar shop don't have them. And there was another like vape / cigar shop that I went to down there, and they didn't have them either. So I was like, well, fuck. So normally when I go down there, I get a couple bankers. Yeah.
We'll probably do what we did the first time and stock up before we go. Just have the humidors full.
Mm-hmm.
Full. Basically, just have a handful in there because filling those things are.
No, last time I was down there, I was on 3 a night.
Ooh, son.
That's how rough it was. But, well, we weren't down there for training.
Yeah, that's right. You were down there actually working.
Yeah, I'm trying to get them out of a bind.
Whack.
Fucking whack. But yeah, no, like they was pissing me off. I'm just sitting there like going through like 3 of them a night in the span of like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Big oof.
Yeah, we'd sit down there with a handle of Jim Beam.
Mm-hmm.
And
speaking of, that can roll us on over into our booze portion of the podcast. So, Jim Beam, is that your preferred drink, or what's your go-to right now?
No, I told you what my go-to was at the beginning. It's Glenlivet and Glenfiddich, both 12 years. I'm out of both right now, sadly. I need to go back to the liquor store, but next I'll be saving up for a bottle of Macallan 18 year. I do like that one. It's just very expensive. Well, I say very expensive. There are like 5-figure bottles of scotch, but it ain't that expensive. Like I'm a blue collar guy. Like over $100 is expensive.
Blue collar guy with champagne taste.
Dude, Ole tell me that all the time.
Yep.
Champagne taste with a beer budget.
And for everybody listening, my wife and his girlfriend are both best friends, as we are both best friends as well. So we both catch hell both ways.
Mm-hmm.
So
I can't
it's
get
not
away
stuff.
from it.
Absolutely not. Can't get away.
But well, she just got me a decanter. I guess I could show it, but she just got me a nice decanter for
Hmm.
our anniversary. So I gotta figure I get that Macallan 18 year and keep it in there for the fine folks that make it upstairs when they come over.
Yes, sir.
And next, we need a little. I need to get me a little table to put it on. With I got a couple. She bought me a whiskey set for Christmas last year, and it's a nice whiskey set. The only gripe I have is it only has 2 glasses. But that's it. I mean, but otherwise it's nice. Like, and it's got like this little like revolver cylinder with like 6 steel bullets that you freeze and throw in so you don't water down your drink.
Nice.
But with Scotch, traditionally it's drank a little watered down.
Hmm.
So I usually keep it to 3 cubes.
And speaking of that, I was drinking, you know,
Your Woodford.
yeah, my Woodford Reserve. I got, you see, when I was in the Army, I drank a lot, as most infantrymen do and soldiers do. But I didn't drink a lot of liquor. Liquor is not really my huge thing. It was mostly beer. I just like drank a shit ton of beer. I think at one point in my career, I was drinking like a 24 or 32 pack a night. It got bad at one point, but I got out, I kind of cut back a little bit. So I'm kind of getting back into the finer things in life. So like some nice whiskeys and such. The Woodford I got as a gift from my wife's boss. Um, she gave me that as a gift for my son being born. She smuggled that into the hospital in a brand new purse, which was very expensive for my wife. Which she also gave a huge bottle of fucking tequila to my wife as well, and rightfully deserved for her. I think it was 32 hours she was in labor with our son.
It was a fucking wow.
Yes, it was a long 3-4 days. But now he's here. He's in good health now, thankfully. But yeah, the Woodford Reserve, I was going to keep that sealed, and I was going to crack it whenever my son turned 18 and joined the military, or he just turned 21. It's either or. If you can join the military, you can have a drink. But if not join the military, you can fucking wait. But no, I cracked it open at a party the other day, and um, ever since I've been kind of sipping on it. Not only my Woodford, I had a few bottles that you brought over. It was
Did you ever finish that Bushmills?
Bushmills. So first bottle Bushmills, the black label, I think it was. Finished that.
No,
I
I
think
brought over the no Johnny Walker's Black Label. The Bushmills, they might have a Black Label too, but it was the one that they did or aged in the sherry casks.
it was that one. I finished that one, and then there's the other one with the green and white label. Um,
Oh, that's what was that? Tullamore Dew.
Tullamore Dew. Okay, that's what I've had recently. I had a glass of that this past weekend for my mother's 50th birthday. Um, I need an excuse to not have to drive all around town, so I took a few shots of that to keep me grounded at the house because I had started drinking already. But the Tullamore Dew, superb. I can't give any more props to the Woodford. Uh, great drink. I put 3 or 4 cubes of ice in it, and by the time I'm finishing it, they're melted, and it's like the melting ice to drinking ratio for me at least, is perfect. So I could probably drink those all night and kill a bottle. But other than that, yeah, I usually just stick to beer. I'm a huge beer guy, especially when it comes to I like my beers like I like my cars, German. Um, I love German beers. Oktoberfest, that fall time of the year. I mean, all those cool beers coming out, dude. Absolutely love it. My wife gives me hell because I love the Oktoberfest beers and all that stuff. She's like, "Oh, that's just basically pumpkin spice for men." I'm like, "Well, you know what? Maybe, but
I mean, yeah, it essentially is.
you're not wrong. But at the same time, it's a good beer. The Sam Adams Winter Lager, not the winter, but the Oktoberfest is good. The Winter Lager is great. The last really good beer I had that I want again was at a local Oktoberfest we had here. A German restaurant was out there serving it. It's called Dunkel. I'm pretty sure that was the name of it. I was kind of fucking drunk when I was getting there. I'd already been through a couple steins already, but I'm pretty sure it was called Dunkel. I was literally going like to each individual tap that they had. So I started with the light stuff that everybody and their mama drink around here to the real dark, heavy stuff at the end that surpassed Guinness. So yeah. So I was trying all kind of stuff. The Dunkel was is an Oktoberfest style of lager. It's really, really good, super smooth. Not a huge bite to it, but it's, like I said, super smooth. Love it. If I really wish current events would go away so we can have an Oktoberfest because I want some more fucking Dunkel.
Yeah.
And I'd made it a point to buy a Stein every year, and I have since I started going. I have 3 Steins now, and last year and the year before they didn't have them there, so I didn't get to buy a Stein. So I'm really needing them to come back clutch with some Steins and some Dunkel, because your boy needs himself some Dunkel and a new Stein, because my other Stein it needs a break because I use it.
Yeah, I had beer in a while. Like last beer I had was had some Yingling Black and Tan that I kept in the fridge. But
Yeah.
I drink normally lately is the Yingling. I'll get Newcastle every once in a while, and maybe a Sam Adams here and there, depending on the season. I stay away from anything like the IPAs or anything fruity like that.
Yeah, I can't do IPAs. Not a huge IPA guy, mostly because I tried this stuff called Voodoo Ranger IPA. Excuse me, Voodoo Ranger IPA, and terrible.
See, my uncle loves IPAs. Him and my aunt and my cousins came up a couple months ago, and all he would buy he's like, well, I haven't tried this, and it's all like the the little the craft brew stuff where it's like all the cartoony graphics and stuff all over it. And I was like, Jesus, I can't.
It's like the more cartoony the label is, the fucking worse it is,
and the more expensive it is.
Exactly. You pay all this money for some garbage ass tasting beer.
Which, if I just wanted to get drunk, I'll go pay fucking $10 and buy a big old case of like Bud Light. I'll down that whole thing.
Gross. Get you a 32 pack of Natty Light.
No fucking. No, one of the sex shift guys came up with me at my account, and he was like, "Hey man, we got something cold over here in the fridge." And I was like, "No man, I got something cold in the van." He goes, "What'd you got? You got some Keystone?"
Ugh.
I was like, "Yeah, I got some Keystone." And now every time he sees me, he'll holler from across the warehouse like, "What up, Keystone?"
Gross. Oh man. But if it's one thing that I've learned in our job, if someone offers you a cold drink,
You don't say no.
They ain't talking about a Coke and don't say no. And luckily we have a decent leadership structure that allows us to partake every now and then if a customer offers.
Well,
I mean, I've gotten
you must have a better customer than I do because I don't know
that. I mean, you know where I work at.
Yeah.
They offer every now and then. Hey, they bought me a shrimp dinner for lunch the other day.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, they ordered fuck, what's that place called? Shout out to Carrie Hilliard's. Fucking
Okay.
yeah, coming in clutch with the lunches.
Shit.
They brought Carrie Hilliard's popcorn shrimp. They got me a popcorn shrimp box, shrimp fries, coleslaw. You know,
All the goodies.
I'm down with the slaw.
See, the best I get is maybe one day, Miss Deborah or somebody will go out there and buy like a party pack of the little Zax's Nibblers thing.
Oh yeah.
But she always does it after I've already had lunch.
But what really comes in clutch is the the Chick-fil-A. The Chick-fil-A catering is where it's at.
Yeah, but we don't ever get that.
Well, you know, since current events, we don't have meetings at the office anymore, so therefore.
I know. You know what I do? You know when we do that?
Hmm.
If I know we're doing it, I'll stop at my normal spot to get breakfast. And instead of getting my donuts, because I get them little to go to gas station donuts for breakfast most of the days,
Mm-hmm.
I'll spend the extra time. I'll get me some grits and bacon. Then I'll go sit in the truck and eat them while everybody's having a meeting.
Yep. I think
Like, you bitches ain't going to eat breakfast? I'm going to eat breakfast.
Have you noticed lately, no one turns their cameras on. They just listen to the meeting. Last time I was in, I didn't see barely anybody had their cameras on except for the people that were talking.
Well, I think that was due to that not so much the cameras weren't on. It was just that the host had muted everybody so they wouldn't pop up.
I mean, I purposely leave mine off because I'm usually eating, drinking, or probably taking a fucking nap.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the stuff we talk about in the meetings are irrelevant most of the time.
Yeah.
But that's not what this podcast is about.
Nope.
So
I think we should be coming up on the end of the first one.
Yes, it is. I think we need to go ahead and wrap up podcast episode number 1. So, like you said, and we said, this podcast is, cars, guns, cigars, and booze. We've covered topics, and we'll be bringing up a few new topics next episode. It'll be more talking and less ums, because we were not exactly hugely prepared, but we kind of were excited to start this, and we kind of jumped the gun a little bit. But on that note, you got anything else left, Mitch, that you want to talk about?
Not really. I think we got it. Pretty much covered everything. We got the introductions done. We covered the basics here, and from here on out, we can pretty much just be more in depth on certain individual topics within each category. So, like, we could, like I said, just go in depth on a couple of different things, and talk about stuff that's coming new in each category, and keep everybody up to date. Maybe one day we'll do like for the cigar section, we might do a humidor tutorial, like how to get set up, how to do the upkeep, how to clean it, that kind of stuff. And we're going to have an episode at some point for those of you who are part of the 40% of new gun owners this year. Just
Congrats.
Yep. Congrats. We'll just going over like basic firearm safety, storing them, that kind of stuff. Because we want y'all to be safe. We also would like you to know how to use them if you need to in an emergency situation. Granted, neither one of us are instructors, but what we are good at is safe firearms handling and training, that portion of it.
I am an NRA certified range safety officer as well. So that don't mean I'm a fucking tactical firearms instructor. That just means I can teach you and tell you how to operate your firearm safely.
Yeah, we're no Pat Mack or
No.
Chuck Pressburg or anybody like that, but we can teach
also,
you how to be safe with it.
Yeah, for sure. We also would love to take suggestions and feedback. Please give us feedback. If there's anything we could fix, please let us know. I am not scared or timid of feedback. Feedback's the best way to improve on anything. So if you can, please give us some feedback. If we suck, tell us we suck. If we're good, tell us we're good. Just let us know what we need to do, and we will take it. And if we think we should utilize your advice, we'll do it. And if we think you're an idiot, we won't tell you you're an idiot, but we'll just take it with a grain of salt.
Yep. And we'll try to release, or not try, we will release a new podcast, let's say every Friday. Roundabouts have it released every Friday about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, roughly.
And then within the next month, we're probably going to be working on getting a studio set up over where I am currently. Because it's the only place where we got enough room and the facilities to be able to do such things. So over the next month, we're going to be looking at getting equipment and stuff in here to make it a little better looking, and so we wouldn't have to do like we're doing now on Zoom. We're just doing this for sake of convenience right now, but eventually, yeah, we'd like to have a nice little studio setup going on so we can just for better quality output. But with that, I think we've reached the end of the first episode. So
yes, we have. So it's been a good one. Y'all have a good day and good evening. And this is Mitch and John with CGCB.